Hi everyone, today we are looking at 2023 Dodge Charger GT all-wheel drive, and I really like this car and I have some good memories with it. Quickly, I once went to USA on a business trip, and that journey was 7-hour long one way, and I had this car and I absolutely loved it. So with that said, we're gonna keep the format of this video same as always. We're gonna check outside, we're gonna check inside, and then we're gonna take it for a quick test drive. But let me open the hood so we can check the engine, and then we're gonna check the design. So let's start with what I think is one of the most interesting things here with this car, and that's this 3.6 liter Pentastar V6 engine paired with 8-speed automatic, and also you get all-wheel drive. This GT version you can have as a rear-wheel drive as well. All that is producing 300 horsepower and 264 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 100 in 6.4 seconds, and you also have one of the easiest launch controls, but I'm gonna show you that when we go for a test drive. Looking at the front end, it's a signature Dodge look. We have our LED headlights with LED daytime running lights. We also have fog lights down below. In this white color you have these black accents which go great together, and also in the middle of that hood you have that vent that also has some black accenting around. Moving to the side, we have our 20-inch alloy wheels. These are Pirelli Scorpion all-season tires, and these are 255/45/20. We have black mirrors, so that's that contrast, white and black. We also have keyless entry with this car, and as you can see, it's a really long car, sitting just over 5 meters or 198 inches. Moving to the back, we have black spoiler across. We have Dodge across the trunk, our backup camera, Charger on the left side, GT on the right side. We have 2 exhaust pipes, black trim below, and then on the sides we have these fake vents, and also as you can see we have our sensors in the back. Let's check the trunk space. Big trunk space here. Underneath there's no spare tire, but you do have your battery. But big trunk space. Looking at the back seats, the design, and you'll see the theme inside this car is black. We have silver accenting door handle, and then nice stitches, gray stitches across the door, our window switch, and nice storage area down here. These seats are really comfortable, so let's get inside. Okay, so this is me sitting behind my seating position. I'm 183 centimeters or 6 feet tall, and as you can see I have just enough knee room, just enough headroom, maybe 2 fingers enough, but I can sit nicely in these seats, are really comfortable. Having 3 adults here is going to be a problem because you have a huge hump here, and this middle seats is kind of higher than these seats, so having 3 adults here, it's gonna be a problem. We also have 2 vents in the back, which is always nice to see, 2 USB-A ports, and then we have this nice armrest with 2 cup holders, which is always nice. And before I move to the front, behind passenger and driver's side, you have these pockets. That is also a nice feature to have in the back. Okay. Same design for, you know, front driver door, black with some gray stitching. You do have more buttons here, so you can control all 4 windows. Front 2 windows, with 1 click they're gonna go all the way down or all the way up. You also have lock and unlock button, and then you can adjust your mirrors. And we can also see that we have 2 memory seats, which is great. Looking at the driver's seat, again, nice. This is some sort of cloth with a little bit of leather on the outside. Driver's side is power adjusted. Passenger side, you're gonna have to adjust it manually. These doors, they open wide, so keep that in mind when, again, because you're gonna have to reach out. And especially keep that in mind because in this Dodge offers, I mean, just see how they call it, seats and comforts. And then you have easy exit seats, so meaning that when you turn it off, it will bring the seat back so you can easily exit the car. But when you come inside, and if you open the doors wide open, you're gonna have to really reach out to grab them so you can close them, right? Okay, looking at the interior design, it's not the best, you know, built material, the best material used here, but still you have a decent glove box, some, you know, hard, I'm not gonna say cheap plastic, but, you know, hard material. Then you have some silver accenting here, and again we have some, you know, cheap plastic around here. But all in all, if you want to compare this car, you're gonna compare it to Chrysler 300, and I reviewed Chrysler 300 Touring L model, which when it comes to the options and everything sits, you know, on par with this car. And if I had to choose between those two, I would go with this Dodge, because I just think that, you know, when it comes to the build quality inside, this one has the upper hand. So far I did not hear any rattling noise or whatnot, except for, I believe it's gonna be this tray that you can remove, and I think that that's what's making the noise. Let's test that. Let's put it here. Okay, moving to the central area here, you have 8.4-inch display, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto included, but they're not wireless, they're wired. Moving down below, you have few buttons where you can select the mode, Sport, Super Track Pack, where you can adjust the modes. You know, what do you want to see when it comes to engine, transmission, traction control and whatnot. Blind spot monitors on and off, traction control on and off. Down below you have your AC controls. Underneath here you have a little bit of storage area with 12-volt socket, your gear selector for your 8-speed automatic, a little bit of storage area here, and as you can see here also, we can see that, you know, the build quality is not the best, but, you know, it's a Charger, right? 2 cup holders, which if you do not have anything, you can just close it, and, you know, it's gonna have this seamless design. Nice deep storage area here with another 12-volt socket, 2 USB-A's and auxiliary port. Moving to the steering wheel, leather steering wheel that's heated with buttons. On the left side you can control this 5-inch display right in front of you, and on the right side you can adjust. Let me just bring this up a little bit. On the right side you can control your cruise control. pedal shifters, and behind, just below these pedal shifters, you have 6 buttons which control your audio, next track, song, or volume up and down, and you can also change the source of your media. 2 analog gauges, speedometer on the right, RPMs on the left, and then this 5-inch display shows you tons of information like your average consumption, your trip info, top speed, and then this is an interesting screen where you can see all these different parameters, your top speed, your reaction time, and then if we go to the right, it's gonna show you the G-force and also lap timer, vehicle info, pressure, temperatures, all that good stuff. You can see it here, and I like to have it on my fuel economy. Now, with that said, let's talk about this screen a little bit. What are the things I think you will use, and then we're gonna take it for a quick test drive. And then before that, let me mention that we have this nice sunroof that you can control with these buttons here, so you can open it all the way, you can close it, and then pressing this button in the middle, it's just gonna tilt open it. So as you can see, a little bit of air can come inside, and we have this space here for your sunglasses, and this is really nice and padded. And then you have your sun visors with a mirror and some lights, and then you can also extend this if needed. Going back to the screen, so settings, most likely you're gonna go here once, adjust whatever you want, and that's it. This is the button that you're gonna use the most, which is gonna be your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Navigation, you will not use it, yet you have it, but most likely you're gonna go with whatever you're using on your phone. Controls here, so both front seats are both heated and ventilated. Steering wheel is heated, so all of that you're gonna control here. And then your mirrors, you can dim automatically, dim or not. And then you have your climate control, so you have a little bit of controls here, so you can control with the buttons. But let's say you want to change direction from where the air is coming out, you're gonna have to go into this display to adjust that. And one more thing, if you go to the apps, and then you're gonna see performance control, that is something that you can get inside by pressing one of these buttons. But performance pages is something that might interest you, so if you open that, it's gonna take a little bit of time to load. Okay, and this is where you have a bunch of different information that you can see regarding your performance gauges, oil temperature, oil pressure, G-force, engine, so if torque, power, and all that good stuff. And then you have your dyno screen, which is awesome. I mentioned the launch control being one of the easiest launch controls I've seen. So by pressing this Super Track Pack button, going into launch control, you can select or adjust at engine hold RPMs, 2300 RPMs, 22, and then when you're happy with that setup, you're on a straight line, you press activate launch control, you put your foot down on the brake, accelerator, it's gonna go up to 2300 RPMs, and then when you're ready, you let go of the brake and the car is gonna just go. And it's 6.4 seconds from 0 to 100. So one thing I'm really disappointed is the rear view camera. As you can see, it's not a high resolution, but you do have these active guidelines, and it's gonna help you, you know, with what you need, right? You can still see. Okay, let's go into reverse drive, and let's take it for a quick test drive. It is a long car, and also this model is all-wheel drive, which then means that your turning radius is even smaller than, you know, if it was rear-wheel drive only. But still, the steering wheel is not the lightest, but still light enough so you're gonna be able to, you know, work your way around the parking lots with ease. Okay, let's talk about consumption, and then we're gonna talk about other good things, and, you know, how does it feel to drive this car. So, being a 3.6 liter V6, you can expect this car to be fuel efficient. So city 12.8 liters per 100 kilometers, highway 8.7 liters per 100 kilometers, and the tank fuel capacity is 70 liters. In the MPG world, city 18 mpg, highway 27 mpg, and your tank capacity is 18.5 gallons. But it's gonna be hard to, you know, hit those numbers, at least in my opinion, because this car wants you to drive it fast, and, you know, I'm averaging 16.5, so I'm like 4 liters above what, you know, Dodge is saying that you can get with this car, and I'm okay with that, because if you opt for this car, you're someone who, you know, loves the car, wants to have powerful car, and is okay with paying a little bit more on the gas, but all the fun that you get and that sound, I think it worth every penny. MSRP for this car back in 2023 was $50,595 Canadian dollars. Now this specific car has just above 50,000 kilometers on the clock, and for, you know, now you can expect, if you, because you're gonna go with a used one, you can expect to pay anywhere between 30 to 7,000 Canadian dollars, and it all depends on the mileage that's on the car. I just need to adjust this because I feel my GoPro overheating. In a regular mode, in a default mode, you can still, you know, enjoy. It's quiet enough. Your gas pedal, the gas reaction is not that, you know, sensitive, but if you put it in a sport, as you can see, you press that gas pedal a little bit and it just pushes you to your seat, and you can hear the engine gets louder, and it's more sensitive on the gas, and it holds RPMs much higher than in a default mode. When it comes to the safety, you have your blind spot monitors that, you know, will beep at you once, and it's gonna be pretty loud if you have someone really close, but that's about that when it comes to the safety features in this car. Ride quality, so this suspension is quite stiff, so when driving in Montreal on these really bad roads, you will feel those holes and potholes and uneven pavement and all that, you know, bad stuff. But these seats are really comfortable, and you know, they offer a lot of support, and when you're on a highway cruising, you will enjoy it. And going back to my trip that I did last year, I would do like 3-4 hours with ease, and I would stop just to get a refill, you know, coffee and you know, something to drink, because when I drive I like to have something to drink all the time. So I wasn't stopping because I felt fatigued or something like that. No, I was feeling super good, and you know, easily do, I don't know, 6-7 hour trip without any stops. That would be easy when it comes to this car, at least for me. And you know, when you're on a highway at around 110-120 kilometers per hour, there is some road noise and a little bit of wind noise coming from these pillars, but I reckon you're gonna be listening to some music, and then you know, it's good. You don't have to have your music all the way up when it comes to the volume, and it will cover that road noise coming from these tires, because these are 20-inch tires. But when it comes to this car, right, so road noise, stiffer suspension, cheap interior, yet much better than the one I found in Chrysler 300L Touring, and I was pretty, you know, disappointed with that car. You can check that video on my channel if you like. But considering all of that, you forget it when you're on a back road, you know, on a country road, and you start driving this car the way I think it should be driven. That noise, the acceleration, the handling, this car is really stable. All-wheel drive system that will pull you out if needed. All of that you'll forget, like when you start driving this, when you feel that, you know, power and the speed and acceleration. That's it. And I think that this is a really fun car to have. But is it a good daily driver? I don't know, right? It's big, it's heavy, and it also is not fuel efficient. And what I said to one of my friends is, I think that this car is gonna be much more expensive, because it's one of those cars that, you know, wants you to step on the gas and drive and all of that. So you might find yourself, you know, fulfilling that need, and you know, breaking, do not do that, but breaking fuel laws, and then, you know, having to pay some tickets. But again, that's just my opinion. If you can control that urge, then, you know, all better for you. So this was a pretty rough section, but it wasn't that bad. You know, I had, you know, better cars and everything, but considering what this car is and what it represents, it wasn't that bad. These seats, again, these seats are great, offer a lot of support, and they're really comfortable. And also being heated and ventilated is an extra point for them. And one more thing, when it comes to that, you can adjust that in your settings. So because having a key fob and having a keyless entry and all that stuff, you also do get remote start. So what we'll do is it will check what's the outside temperature, and then activate either heating or, you know, ventilation, whatever is needed based on the temperature outside, which is pretty cool. And I loved that feature on when I was, you know, taking that trip to United States last year. talking now about, you know, driving experience. You can set up this seat to your preference, and also what is really good is that this screen here is nicely lit up, and it's really easy to read any information that you need. And as shown, this display in the middle can show a lot of information that you may need on your trip without, you know, needing to go and use this screen. So everything is right in front of you. These buttons are big, so you can, you know, easily use that. And then what I do also like is that they put these buttons to control your music and volume and all that good stuff in the back. So it takes, you know, some time to get used to it, but they're hidden, so more real estate on the screen, on the steering wheel here for the other buttons to make them bigger. And once you're used to it, these are like, because it's a natural, you know, position for your hands. You're gonna hold your steering wheel like this, and these two fingers, they fall on those buttons nicely. And then if you want to use your paddle shifters, you have these two point fingers to, you know, use the paddle. So really clever design. And also, it's one of the things that I forgot to mention when I was reviewing GMC Terrain and also Chrysler 300. Both of those cars have those buttons, but just because they're not, you know, eyesight, you don't see them. I did, you know, I did not mention them in the video, and I was like, at the end I was like, again. So now there you have it. You have those those buttons behind the steering wheel, so you can control your music. Overall, I am really happy, you know, that I had the chance to drive this car. But again, is it a daily driver? Not so much. Can it be? Yes, absolutely. If you only want one car that's gonna have the performance, but at the same time, you know, has a lot of space in the back, so you can, you know, drive your family around, has a big trunk. Good choice. Also keep in mind that it's a really big car, but the size of it is something that you're gonna get used to it in a couple of days for sure. You'll know all the corners, and then you're gonna get used to that hump on the hood there quite easy. So I'm just gonna go this like that. So let's say come on, let's say if I go on this, okay, so in a regular parking spot, let's turn off the car. So as you can see, the seat is gonna go back, the steering wheel is gonna go up, so it's easier for you to get outside. And as you can see, that's it. So it takes the entire parking spot, and some of those parking lots have smaller parking spaces, so you're gonna be sticking out a little bit. So there you have it, guys. 2023 Dodge Charger GT all-wheel drive. Let me know down in the comment section, what do you think about this car? Is this something you already own, or is this something that you would like to own? Thank you very much for watching the video. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and see you in the next video.